All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a great treat for you today. Joining us, our former bear fight champion, the only person who has defeated Bolton in a one-on-one bear fight that's still active, Michael the White Rasta Lion Ray. So Mike, competitive bear fighting, why?
Well, I think the answer to that question is pretty simple, is why not? I mean, you're bear fighting anyway, you might as well be able to rub it in someone's face when you win.
Fair enough. Now you seem to have a meteoric rise in the bear fighting leagues. Tell me about that.
I'd say much of my meteoric rise is from my days back in the Japanese bear fighting leagues. It's a lot less rule-oriented. It's more for pride, so there's a lot of bloodshed at the end. That's really what, helps me go for the throat.
Now, the first time you won the championship, you faced off against current champion Mark Bolton Chin Chinnery Dunphy. How were you feeling going into that match?
I tell you what, I wasn't feeling too great. He's a psychological competitor. He's not much to look at physically, but those chins will get in your head. You think he's just going to wilt, and then he just doesn't.
Now, going into this tournament, you're obviously a heavy favorite being a former champion. But you're definitely, you're in the field of death in Westchester.
Yeah.
What do you really think your chances are coming out on top?
I think my chances are probably, 1 out of 16 or so. But it's gonna be tight competition. We're obviously in a tough group. It's just gonna be up to trying to do the best bear fight I can.
All right. So let me switch gears a bit. The future of your sport. Where do you see this thing heading in 10 years?
Ideally, straight to the Olympics. I mean, I'd like to, bypass any collective bargaining agreements, spats, and labor strikes, and just go straight into the Olympics. I think is the next logical move here.
All right. Now, as I said before, you're the only person that's ever defeated Bolton in a one-on-one competition for the title. So where do you see yourself in the future being? Where's your spot in the annals of bear fight history?
I'd like to think that Bolton and I will battle once or twice more, culminating in some sort of, awesome bear fight throwdown where one of us is just going to be a Mortal Kombat, really.
A bear fight battle to the death. Huh?
I feel like that's the only way to settle this kind of rivalry.
All right. Well, good luck to you, sir, coming up through the tournament, and I hope big things from you. You have yourself a great one. Good luck in your training.
Thank you, sir.
All right, ladies, hold on to your pants. A very special guest joining us from the Philadelphia bracket, Jack Craighead. All right, Jack, tell me about you're a little less known of a bear fighter. Tell me about your competitive bear fight experience.
Big thing was the relay representing the A-lot, coming all the way from no man's land on the other side of the stadium. Get some cred.
It definitely does. So does that make you feel like every bear fight you participate in is an away match for you?
Always. Huge chip on the shoulder coming from A-lot.
Interesting. So what are you doing to train for this competition?
Drinking heavily and bear fighting at every bar I go to, pretty much.
Oh, you get it too. Now, when you look at someone like Mike or Bolton, do you really feel like you're ready at this point in your career to take those kinds of heavy weights on?
Honestly, probably not. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to show up and have a good time and drink some bear fights.
All right.
And see how it shakes out.
I know that you know a lot of the people in your bracket. Realistically, who do you see coming out on top in the Philadelphia region?
Philadelphia region? I don't even know. I think Lucas is in the region, and that's kind of the...
You have Lucas, you have Corinne, Jason Richardson, yourself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Jay Richardson coming out of retirement from competitive drinking altogether.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, sir, and I hope you move on to further rounds. We can have you back in the studios.
Hopefully.
And now back to the explanation of the draw with Justin Lee, and then right into the draw.
This is the honey badger. Whoa, watch out, says that bird. Oh, it's got a cobra? Geez, watch him crack it.
Honey Badger does it badass.
You bet he does.
Wonderful pistachios.
He loves those snacks.
Get cracking.
Join the movement. FIFA Soccer 12. Rated for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Legend has it, when the Hawk of Achill took a barrel of John Jameson's whiskey, he kindly offered him another. And where Jameson was generous, the Hawk was greedy. Very greedy. And in the end, the pursuit of the whiskey would prove foolish for the Hawk of Achill.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bearfight Charity Tournament presentation. We're going to move on to our draw. We have 4 regions: the Irish Mile in New Jersey, Franklin's Tavern in Philadelphia, the Blarney Stone in Westchester, and of course, Stoney's Pub, Wilmington, Delaware. We have four little bins, the names of each location. Quite simply, we draw an egg, open it up, bam, there's a name, they go on our board. It's that easy. So I'm going to be drawing for New Jersey and Philadelphia. Justin will be drawing for Westchester and Wilmington, Delaware. So let's get this started. First with the New Jersey region. Our first competitor is Scott Richards. Random noises. All right, and Scott in the first round will face Barry Evans. Our next matchup will feature Bartiz Ben Lee. And Ben will face the Illegitimates Nick Cifelli. Matchup 3 will have Julian, whose last name I don't know how to pronounce, that starts with a P. And I'm going to pretend I know. And Julian will face, I'm really bad at putting my eggs where they belong. Julian will face Chris Harris. Our next matchup, Heather Detweiler. And Heather's opponent for that first evening will be Handsome Rich Ransom. Moving on, our next matchup, Matthew Moyer will square off with former number 1 competitor, former challenger to the champion, Joe Rad. Next we have Scott, whose last name also starts with a P and I don't know how to pronounce. Just going to be honest here. And he is going to battle Jesse Lorenz. All right, 4 competitors left in the Jersey region. My name is Earl Gardner. Also a former number 1 contender. We'll square off against John DeCristo, whose name I probably just mispronounced. And our final matchup for the New Jersey region will have Nick Youngstein will face, big dramatic moment, Will Delay. All right, moving on to our Philadelphia region, Franklin's Tavern. It might be Youngstein, I'm not sure. It's that Frankenstein argument. Moving on. to Philadelphia. Our first competitor will be Lucas Bear Chest Fighter Murray. And Lucas will take on Ryan Bross. Our next matchup, coming out of retirement, Jason Richardson. And Jason's opponent for the day will be Eric Endricat.
Let's just hope Jason actually.
Jason, we will have an EMT on staff just in case. The egg that will not open. The self-proclaimed women's best bear fighter in the world, Corinne Murray. And Corinne's opponent for the night will be, from Scranton, Tony Mancia. All right, next up we have Danny Bowder or Bader, not sure. And Danny's opponent is also from Scranton, Sierra Gravine. Our next matchup, Dan Loftus. And Dan will square off in his bear fight against Scranton, Pennsylvania's own Jamie Husvar. Next up we have Mohawk Jack Craighead. And Jack's opponent for the night, Charlie, big long last name that starts with a W. All right, our last four competitors for Philadelphia. Nicholas Japan Bunch. And Nick will square off against Simo Dallas. Final two competitors for Philadelphia. Dan Kenworthy. And Dan will face off against Andrew Morgan. So there we have our Jersey and Philadelphia regions.